Hi and welcome back. In this video, we're looking at scraping this quotes page that you see here. And we're going to do that before moving on to the books, just because this one's a little bit simpler. And what I'm going to teach you over the next few videos is how to structure your scraping applications so that you can do anything you want with them. In this section, we're going to build two projects, the quotes page scraper and then the books page scraper, which is going to be actually very similar, at least in structure. Let's start by analyzing this quotes page. The URL, by the way, is quotes.toscrape.com, so feel free to have a look yourself as well if you want to sort of play around with it. What we've got is, as you can see, a few different elements in the screen. We've got some sort of title up here. We've got a login page down here on the top right. We've got top 10 tags, so these things are presumably clickable. So these are links. Then you've got individual quotes in these rectangles here, these sort of cards. Whenever you see something that looks structured like this, you know it's going to be an easy scrape. And this page is designed for scraping, so of course it's going to be sort of maybe slightly simpler than other pages you may see out in the wild. But what we're going to learn in this section is really going to help us scrape any page, not just these simpler pages. So what we've got here are a number of different cards, and each card contains a quote, as well as the author and a bunch of tags here that we can scrape. What we're going to do is we're going to create a program that will give us the quote contents and also the author. That's it, pretty simple program, but again, what you learn will mean that you will be able to extend that program beyond that by any amount. So let's start by inspecting the page source just to know what it looks like. And as you can see here on the right, we have ourselves the body of the HTML that contains all of the content. Inside there, we've got a div which has a class container that contains all of the content as well. And then we have a row, which is a header box. And beside it, we have another row, which is the rest of the content. Inside that row, we have a number of, two columns. One that is call MD8 and the other one that is call MD4. And also has another class called tags-box. So this is the tags, this is the quotes, and in the quotes we have a number of divs, each div with a class quote that has one of the quotes. So we know that each of these divs is going to be exactly identical to all the others, except in the content. But inside one div we have a span, which has a class text, and that contains the quote. Another span, which contains by, and also a small tag, which contains the author, and also a link, which contains the about page of that author. And then it's got another div, which contains the tags, and there's a few things in here, and amongst them is an A tag that has a class tag. So inside that tag, we have change, deep thoughts, thinking, world, and so forth. If you were to look at any other of these quotes, you'll see that it's essentially the same. A span with class text that contains the quote, another span that contains by, and a small tag which contains the author, and then another div here with the tags, and so forth. So we know that as long as we manage to get these divs, and for each div get this data, we'll be able to extract all of the data that we need from the page. So we're going to do that in the very next video. We're going to structure our new application in order to be able to understand this page. I'll see you in the very next video.